Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to keep on working on the Jeep to get it back on the road ASAP. I think I have mentioned on the last video we did working on the Jeep. If not, I'll do it right now. We're going to be replacing the ABS sensor. But before we get quite deep into this video, let me run you through quite quickly what ABS is. ABS is a system that with 4 sensors in one module, and the sensors located very close to your wheels, read the speed of every wheel. And without getting too much into depth of what this is, it helps you to not lock the brakes and the heavy braking. This way you will have more control of your vehicle and you probably won't end crashing into a wall, car, pedestrian, light, anything that is on your way. The way that your ECU would tell you that there's something wrong with your ABS is just like this. It will put a light on your dash, and if you can see up here, we got 3 lights. We got the ABS light, we got the traction control, and we got the 4-wheel drive. In this case, because this vehicle is 4-wheel drive, but if the ABS fails, it will cancel one of the axles. This means that you can still drive, but you only have 2-wheel drive instead of 4-wheel drive like you normally do. If you get all these lights up like I just showed you, don't panic and think that all of that is wrong. An ABS sensor can put all these lights up. One thing you need to know before you start changing ABS sensors is to know which one we actually need to replace. And if you go access to a diagnostic machine like I do, you can just scan the codes like I did up here, and it will tell you exactly which sensor is the one that is malfunctioning or not working, not giving a reading. Here it is, our ABS sensor. We got a connector right here, a wire going through, a grommet, so that means that this bit from here forward is going to be on the outside of the vehicle. We got a bracket right here, a clip connector right there, and our ABS sensor. I'm pretty sure we don't need to remove the rear wheel, so what we're going to do is drive it back onto the ramps so we get more clearance, and then we start disassembly. If this is your first time doing something like this, don't worry, I'll run you through it. But as you can imagine, we're going to spend most of the time under the vehicle disconnecting the old ABS sensor and feeding and connecting a new one, right? But our connector that runs from the ABS to the ECU is going to be connected right here at the back, in the boot, the trunk, whatever you call it, where you put your luggage normally. Okay, so let me show you what it is. Excuse the mess, but what we're going to do is remove this first. Let's see if I can do it with one hand. There we go. So that shelf basically hooks there and just slides in and out from here. Yes, we're gonna clean all of that once this is done, but before all of that, we're gonna tackle our ABS sensor. So all you need to do is basically pull this up a bit so you got a bit more space, and right here we'll remove this foam, and if you can see right there, there we go. That is the same grommet that I showed you at the beginning of the video. So we're just going to reach for that cable, and here we got our connector. So all we need to do is unplug this, then we'll fit this through the hole right there, and we'll continue removing the ABS sensor. So for this, all you're going to have to do is push that tab backwards, and I believe we're going to have to push down. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it with one hand. So let me see if I can set you up somewhere, and we'll continue from there. Alright, I definitely couldn't do it with one hand, so I had to stop the camera for a second. All you need to do is pull this back, then you can just remove it. Just like that, it will just pop out basically. So now we're going to fit this, as I said, through that hole right there, and then we can go underneath the vehicle. Instead of showing you how to do it right there, because it's quite a small place, I'm going to show you the actual grommet on the new one. This is the grommet, right? And this is how it fits. So that one right there is just fitted like this. So you can see this lip that we're going to be able to see it from underneath. We're going to pull the grommet down from underneath the vehicle. So now we're going to pull that grommet through the hole, get the connector, and carry on. As you can see, we are underneath the vehicle, and you can see up there, right here, that's the grommet that I was talking about. So we're going to pull that through, just like that. Here we got the connector that we just unplugged from up above, and You follow that wire all the way down. It's going to bring you down to here where that bracket is. So that would be right here. And that's the big bracket that I showed you before, this one here. And we got the other one right there. I already sprayed the bolts, which they're going to be 13, I believe. And you can spray whichever product you like Pre-Blaster, WD-40, Rust Off, anything you got. Let it soak for a bit, and then we're going to start removing them. That is the bolt for the top bracket, as you can see, that one right here. And the other one is, as I just showed you, right there. Just a side note, if when you're removing or trying to remove the brackets, you feel like the bolts started to round or they're very tight and you don't really see that you will be able to remove them without breaking them and snapping on you, there's a trick. And I'm pretty sure that most of you already know what I'm about to say, but if you don't, do this. So what you can do is just bend this up a bit and then slide the wire out of the actual bracket. You can do that right there, right here, and on the other bracket, just right there. So if you do that, then you only have the wiring loom to actually work with, and you don't have to worry about snapping bolts or taking them out. So if you want to, you can do that, which in my case, it might be the way that I'm going to go about this, since my bolts seem quite rusty and I don't want to start rounding and then breaking, snapping on me. It won't be a fun game. So I'm going to give it a go, see what happens, and if I can remove it, great. If not, I just reutilize the old brackets with a new loom, and that's about it. Once we remove the grommet, if you can see right there, we got another plastic clip. So what we're going to use is something like this. Just like that. We're going to put it right underneath and we're going to just pry it out. All we need to do is get our tool right under that plastic clip. You can use a flat blade screwdriver as well if you don't have this. Then just pry it out. Just like that. And it will come off. Right, we got good news and bad news. Good news is I managed to get one of the brackets off. Bad news is that the bolt actually snapped in there. Look at that. Right, this is what I was saying to you. Just if you feel like it's going to snap or it's very tight, don't take it out. Just remove it from the bracket. So at some point I'll drill that out, put a new bolt, and that's that. But after removing the wiring from the brackets and removing that clip as well, we're going to have one more clip, which is going to be right there. So we're going to use the same procedure that we used to remove this one right here, and then we're going to be able to remove our ABS sensor. Alright, so now that our sensor wiring is all nice and loose, all we need to do is remove the actual sensor. That one you can see right there. I think what I'm going to do is get a set of pliers and just try to grab it like that and pull it out and see if it come out this way. If not, we'll try something else. But let's give it a go with that first. And there we go. Our ABS sensor is now out. Just remember, because it will be quite funny, just remember the way that it came off. So it came off basically this way. So these grooves that you see here are going to be facing you once we put it back on. So it's a bit hard to show you. So I'll show you once I get it out which way we're going to put it back on. Now all we need to do is just grab this, pull it out of that hole and get rid of it. Here's a new sensor. I've removed all the brackets, as you can see. I'm going to use the old ones. But what I wanted to show you is that this is the actual sensor itself that goes at the back of the wheel. And you can see these grooves right there. Those ones are going to be facing you when we plug it back in. So basically it's going to go this way. Now, let's grab this, let's go under the vehicle and let's install it. When you get to this point, it's kind of up to you which way you want to route it. You can either start with putting the ABS sensor back in and then reroute it backwards, or you can fit it from the top. So basically here from the boot, trunk, as I said, whatever you call it. That way, what you're going to have to do is run your wire down through all the brackets and then connect your ABS sensor. It's not right or wrong, it's up to you. I'm going to do it the way of connecting the ABS sensor first and then reroute it all the way back up. With the old ABS, we didn't have to really care about it, but with this new one, we're going to have to be a bit more careful. So what we're going to do is feed it through that hole right there and then try to connect it back in that place. Alright, so I routed the wire basically where it's going to be, and I just set the sensor right in front of its place, as it's going to be a bit easier since I'm holding the camera and I'm doing it with one hand. So what we're going to do now is get the pliers and see if we can push it in right there. Actually, before anything, I'm going to see if I can do it with my hands, or with my fingers as you'd say, to see if I can actually get it in. Alright, as you can see, our ABS sensor is now connected. It wasn't that bad. I don't have massive hands, so you know, maybe that helped. But if not, I reckon with the self pliers, just the same way that we removed it, we can put it back in. And now what we're going to do is basically put all the clips where they should go and reroute the wire through the brackets. Alright, so now that we connected the ABS sensor, ran it through all the brackets and pushed all the clips back in, this is going to be the next step. We're going to come back to the initial place where we disconnect our plug, which is right there. You can see our grommet, new grommet fitted right there. Yes, it's very dirty, don't worry about that. And all we got left now is connect them two plugs together. So let's get that done. And there we go. That's a plug all nice and connected. We can push it back in there. We can put this where it should go. We should probably clean the whole entire car before putting the actual shell back in. But well, just like before, some of you might know how to do this. Some of you might be wondering or questioning if it's actually the right way to do it and if you can do it. So quick explain is, once we install the new ABS and you put them through the older brackets that are in the vehicle, this is just if you use the older brackets just like I did, this gap is going to be bigger, of course, so you can slide this in and out. So all you need to do is get like a set of pliers like this ones, and all we're going to do is basically grab it like this and just press down until the gap is smaller. Can you see that? We're going to do that in the car. So all you need to do is go under the car and do exactly the same. Just be a bit more careful since you got the ABS wiring going through and you don't want to damage that, but just press them slightly and they won't come off. Once you have replaced your ABS sensor, everything is tucked up and everything is connected, there's two ways you can do this. One of them, as I said before, if you go at a diagnostics machine, you can just reset the light, go for a test drive and see if the light comes back on. Or in most vehicles, you don't even need a diagnostic machine. Most vehicles, once you start driving and go over like 10-20 miles an hour, it will pick up the signal, and if the ABS sensor now is working fine, it will get rid of the lights. And if your light goes off and it doesn't come back on, happy days, your car is ready to live another day. And just like that, we get to the end of this video. Quite easy fix, to be honest, quite simple and not too expensive. So I hope this helped you to replace your ABS sensor and to understand a bit more how this works if you didn't before. This might be the last episode before what I'm going to call New Year's special, where I'm going to go over all my cars, the things that we've done and the things that we have yet to do. So if you would like to know what else is wrong with my cars and what else we got yet to replace, stay tuned, because on the 1st of January is when that video is going to go live. So as always, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, thank you for subscribing if you do, and I shall see you very shortly.